Hi, my name is Xiong, and I graduated from Humboldt High School. I'm here today to tell you a story about what happened to me because of the choices I made in the car, and that happened in a car accident. Just a little things for you to know about me. I come from family that's very strict. They don't want me to do bad things, even though sometimes I do. My mom and my dad, they're very strict and don't think that I have a lot of abilities, but I really do. I believe in myself so much that it got to the point where I was injured. So I'm gonna tell you the story of the car accident that happened to me. It happened on March 9th, 2014. I was a senior that year, taking college classes in the school. I had grade eights, great grades, great grades, and was the top of my class. I was ranked 4. I took the car to work that day because my parents couldn't take me to work because they had went to a funeral that morning in Minneapolis. I work at Chuck E. Cheese, and Minneapolis and Chuck E. Cheese were too far, so I drove the car myself. It wasn't a great decision. I remember that day as if it was yesterday. I walked out of Chuck E. Cheese, and I still remember the wind blowing in my hair and the car zooming past me, almost knocking me down. I got off of work late that day, but if I didn't get off of work and I got off at 6, my usual time when I'm supposed to get off, what happened to me that day wouldn't have happened to me, but it did. I got off work 30 minutes late than I was supposed to because I had to finish up a birthday party. As I got into the car, I blasted up the heat because it was so hot. Backed up out of Chuck E. Cheese parking lot, made a right turn onto South Robert Street. I was driving and I was debating to myself, should I be a good daughter and go get gas? But I don't have enough money. Let me just put only a little. Should I do that? And at the last second, I did it. I jerked my car into SA and went into the parking lot and pumped some gas in there. Pumped some oil in my car. I remember what my mom told me. She said 87 unleaded for the car. And I did that. I was so proud of myself. So as soon as I was done with that, I turned and was trying to make a left turn to continue to my house. I was looking both ways because I remember my parents saying that I have to look both ways. I have to be very cautious. Anything can happen. You can't promise what the other drivers will do. So I looked both ways until it was clear. And I turned to the left, going southbound on South Robert. And I remember there was a car behind me, grayish, whitish, and it was like a good 3-4 seconds behind me. So that's when I made my turn. And so there was no car in front of me besides cars that were parked or stopped on my left to turn into Target, actually turn into Kmart. And I was like, okay, so let me just continue, speed up. I went from 20 to 30 to 35. I knew not to go over the speed limit because that would be bad, so I stayed at 35. And I remember a glimpse of a white car, the same size about my car, and like was right there parked, trying to make a left turn. But I didn't think it would turn. I had it right away. So as I was driving, like, I had the green light, so it doesn't matter. And I remember clearly what song was playing. Tell Me That You Love Me by Victorious was playing on my phone. So I was just driving 35 down South Robert, and out of nowhere, from the corner of my eyes, I could see the white car made a left turn and cut me, and bam, the two cars hit each other. I remember moving my feet to brake, but that didn't work. So as I remember like having my body feeling like a pillow, and like I used all my muscle to pull me up, and I was coughing. And there was smoke coming out of my car, and heat turned into smoke, and the music had stopped playing. I looked to my right in the passenger seat, and I see my purse just sitting there and the airbags that had exploded. And I thought, you know, if someone was here with me, they would have gotten hurt. And I thought, and I remember saying to myself, what am I gonna do? Like, my parents are going to kill me. My permit's gonna be suspended. I don't know what to do. I wish I didn't gone into SA and get some gas. I wish I didn't go and try to be a good daughter. This would have never happened to me. I wouldn't have met whoever hit me. But I was trying to hold it all in. I was so terrified. I could remember myself shaking. And I feel warm blood dripping down my nose slowly. But my face hurted so much, and I just couldn't wipe it away. I took my phone off the cord that was playing the music, and I used all my muscle to open the door, and I stepped out. I stepped out trying to balance myself, and I could see that the driver who hit me has gotten out of her car already, touching her face as if she was hurt too. And I could see her airbags went off in her passenger seat, and her right light came off. My hood was up, the front of my car is jacked up, and I see a lady in a black sweater running around the car, and came up to me. My door was still open. I'm holding the door to keep myself balanced. And she asked me, "Are you okay? You should find a piece of cloth to wipe your blood away." And I said to her, "Yes, I'm okay." But inside of me, I was so terrified. I didn't know what to do. I had my phone, and I was holding onto the door, trying to keep my balance. And I breathed in some fresh air from outside, and I rubbed my tongue against the bottom of my teeth, and I could feel like a freshness in my mouth as if I was eating a mint. And I realized my teeth had been chipped from the impact of the airbags. It has been chipped, and I could feel like chewiness in my mouth, and those were the pieces of the teeth that was chipped. So, as I was thinking to myself, I remember the driver saying to me, she was touching her face as she was saying, she looked over and said, "Are you okay?" And in my head, I wanted to scream at her. I'm like, do I look okay? My nose is bleeding, my face hurts, my teeth is chipped, you cut me. Do I look okay? But I didn't want to be a bitch. I didn't want to be mean. So instead I said, "Yeah, I'm okay." So I was able to keep all my balance. I came out the door, slammed the door, and I could hear the lady who helped me behind me calling for the ambulance and calling the cops, saying there's been an accident on South Robert Street. One of the driver is bleeding. And while she was doing that, I called my parents. called her and I was telling her, I called my mom, like, Mom, I got into a car accident. I told her, she asked me what happened, and I told her that a car came in front of me. She cut me. My mom was like, oh, it's your fault. And I'm like, how is it my fault? Typical Hmong parents think that everything's your fault, honestly. Even though you're not, they think that you are.